Hello Whovians, friends, cockles, I'm Purple Celery, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to be looking at episode 7 of series 11 of Doctor Who, Kerblam. And just as a warning, there will be spoilers for this review, so if you haven't seen this episode, please look away now. So in last week's video, I kind of said how I felt like Doctor Who was going through a bit of a mid-season slump and how I hoped that next week, meaning this week, would be a return to form. So, did Kerblam deliver? Ha ha. Well, I'm happy to say that it did. I definitely thought this episode was probably the best one that we've had since Rosa. So just to recap briefly, the Doctor and her companions head to this big moon planet after receiving a message for help, and on this big planet there's a big warehouse and delivery company called Kerblam, which I suppose is like a big extrapolation of, say, Amazon, and the Doctor and the TARDIS team go undercover to find out who's been sending the messages. I thought this episode was really clever. There were some great plot twists, and it threw up some very interesting themes, such as the value of work, the dignity that lower paid workers, or the lack of dignity that lower paid workers have to endure in menial type jobs, technology taking over people's jobs. I thought this was like a really great concept for a Doctor Who episode. But this episode, Kerblam, managed to avoid being predictable. For example, it wasn't all anti-technology and anti-capitalism as I thought that it might be. And one of the most likeable characters turned out to be the villain. I'm sure that, like me, many of you were assuming that one of the two middle-aged company executives were the villain, or possibly even the system or the robots themselves were taking over. But no, it was Charlie, the kind, friendly, sweet janitor kid. So yeah, I personally didn't see that one coming. Maybe you did. If you did, please let me know. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty good plot twist. It was also slightly dark, this episode as well, in the sense that two of the other very likeable workers got killed and stayed killed throughout the episode. Like, the Doctor obviously had no way of bringing them back to life. I also thought that the companions in this episode were great. Unlike in previous episodes this series, it didn't feel like any of them were just standing around with nothing to do. It felt like they all had roles to play. They all contributed to resolving the problems that arose. I liked how, like, Yaz got Charlie in the headlock towards the end. So yeah, I thought it didn't feel like they were superfluous. And I do think in general, often the Doctor Who episodes that I'm finding work the best are the ones where the companions do split up, where they all sort of have like different roles to play, different jobs to do. The only slight downside for me in this episode was actually the Doctor. I get that the Doctor has always been a bit childlike, but I'm just a bit concerned that the writers are making Jodie's Doctor a little bit too childlike, and I think that this needs a light touch. For example, I liked the moment where she sort of was like, oh really? Like, screwing up her face in disappointment when she found out that she couldn't play on the conveyor belts. Yep, that's fine. But I'm also concerned that they're making her a little bit too, I guess, ditzy. For example, forgetting that they were wearing ankle bracelets and thus could be traced was like a huge oversight, and I just can't see the previous male doctors having made such an obvious mistake. And I think this is problematic because it kind of like sends the subconscious message that, you know, women are childlike and ditzy and klutzy, and, you know, and they can't cope when there's like too many things inside their head to think about. I'm sure that's not what the writers intend to convey. At least I hope that it's not. But there are sort of hints of that, and that does concern me a bit. But having said that, I did like the Doctor's speech at the end about how technology can be used both for good and evil, depending on the human who's using that technology. That's the sort of speech that I want to see more of from Jodie's Doctor. So with 3 episodes left to go, I hope that we will see some more of that. But overall, I really enjoyed Kerblam. I thought it was a great episode. I'd probably give it about an 8 out of 10. But as always, I would love to know your thoughts, so please leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought about it. If you've enjoyed watching this video, give it a like and please subscribe to my channel. And I will see everybody next week when I look at episode 8. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the one with the witch burning and the doctors eating an apple, bobbing for apples or something. Anyway, this is Purple Celery, over and out.